Good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with John Kay and Louise Minchin.
Our headlines today. A delay of 4 weeks in lifting lockdown restrictions is agreed by ministers. Details of the decision for England are expected to be announced by the Prime Minister later.
Good morning. Every day of delay costs millions in lost revenue. I'm at the Peace Hall in Halifax, where dozens of businesses are asking, what will this mean for us?
Morning. Scotland expects. Celebrations just for getting here were tremendous. Now they prepare to play their first match in a major tournament for 23 years in front of a home crowd at Hampden.
Good morning from Queen's Club in London, where the tennis is going to start today, run for a week. Hasn't been here for a couple of years because of COVID, and big names like Andy Murray will be taking part. There's not a cloud in the sky, and for many of us today the forecast is dry. There'll be some sunshine, fresher in the north, but still humid in the southeast.
Up for sale, Barbara Windsor's famous vanishing bikini, for anyone who wants to get their hands on a piece of cinema history. Morning everyone, Monday the 14th of June, and our top story is that the final easing of lockdown restrictions in England, which is of course due to take place next Monday, is now almost certain to be delayed by up to 4 weeks.
The Prime Minister will make an official announcement today, but several senior ministers have already signed off on a postponement as cases of the new Delta variant of coronavirus continue to rise. Our business correspondent Katie Austin has the latest.
The 21st of June had been billed by some as Freedom Day, the earliest possible date that all restrictions could be lifted. Now the removal of all remaining rules is not expected to happen that day. For many businesses which remain closed, there's frustration and even anger at the idea of a 4-week delay. It's thought most nightclubs have already been gearing up for a 21st of June reopening.
It's going to be catastrophic to us. You know what I mean? This will possibly hurt us more than the initial lockdown back in March last year.
Because you've already put money, have you, into opening from the 21st?
We've been buying stock, booking staff for the last 4 weeks. You know, we've had people in, getting the venue ready to open. It's not just something where we can just literally turn the keys and just open up in 2 weeks' time.
Theatres can only operate with reduced numbers at the moment due to social distancing. One producer told the BBC that just isn't sustainable.
While masks are absolutely fine, and obviously temperature taking as you come in is absolutely fine, and all the other deep cleaning and so forth, all the other safety measures are fine, the socially distancing simply doesn't make the model viable. So they simply can't operate with that socially distanced situation.
The trade body for restaurants, pubs, bars and hotels says 300,000 jobs could be at risk if restrictions aren't lifted next week. Wedding businesses and couples are also waiting anxiously to see if rules, including a 30-person limit, will be relaxed. The British Chambers of Commerce says there needs to be adequate support for businesses if a full reopening is delayed, something we should know for sure later today. Katie Austin, BBC News.
Well, our chief political correspondent Adam Fleming joins us now from St Ives, where of course the Prime Minister was hosting the G7 summit over the weekend. Adam, we saw him enjoying his role as host, lots of smiles on the beach, but today is a much more challenging, much more difficult day that he won't enjoy.
Morning, John. Yeah, after the high of a very successful G7 summit here in St Ives, with the red arrows, the barbecue on the beach with the other leaders, the 1 billion doses of COVID vaccines being donated from rich countries to poorer countries, you then get the low of the Prime Minister having to do a Downing Street news conference later this afternoon, where people will inevitably be disappointed by this month-long delay to the last stage of the lifting of the lockdown in England. There will be a few things to watch out for when the Prime Minister speaks this afternoon. What is the actual decision? Is it a delay to the date and the reopening will go ahead anyway? Or is it a delay to the decision, which raises the prospect of a further delay in future? Is there also any good news to sweeten the medicine, if you like? Any minor restrictions to make things seem a little bit less disappointing? There's lots of speculation today, for example, that you could have bigger weddings outside and maybe bigger mass gatherings, full stop, outside. Also, though, this will will buy the vaccination programme some more time. It is going very quickly, and the number of people who've had their second dose is going up very quickly too. This means millions more will have that extra level of protection. Of course, though, that means in a month's time, if the numbers of cases and hospitalisations and deaths have not gone up by very much, the number of people with their second dose has gone up by a lot, then it will be much harder for the government to justify keeping these restrictions in place for any longer. And they will come under a huge amount of pressure from businesses and also a lot of Conservative MPs who are very, very worried about this delay.
OK, Adam, thanks very much indeed for now. Adam in St Ives, the Prime Minister's announcement, we think, is, what, late afternoon, early evening?
Absolutely. We'll be back there with him a little bit later. Can't resist looking at the sea, actually. But
I know.
Also here on the programme, at 7:30 this morning, we will be joined by Health and Social Care Minister Edward Arger as well.
6 minutes past 6. Scotland face the Czech Republic in their first Euro 2021 match, or I suppose 2020 really, isn't it? Delayed 2020 plus one, we should call it, as the Tartan Army experienced the finals of a major tournament for the first time in 23 years.
And 12,000 spectators will be allowed into Hampden Park, and a further 6,000 can watch from the Glasgow Fan Park. Jane Dougal has been soaking up the atmosphere.
Yes, sir, I can boogie.
It became Scotland's Euros anthem when the 1977 classic was sung in the dressing room after the men's team qualified for their first major tournament in 23 years. On the day of their opening match, there's excitement amongst the next generation. Many Scottish school children have been given permission to watch at 2 o'clock from their classrooms.
Scottish people have missed out on, Scotland qualifying for major tournaments, and now we're back, so it's going to be a first for a lot of people. It's something that we believe that, where we belong, and it's something that we believe that, this country kind of needs it, and, I think you can feel everyone building. I just hope that we can do our country proud.
Fan zones have been set up for those working from home. Scotland has just missed out so many times, the bridesmaid but never the bride.
Happy days!
Could this squad playing at Hampden be a match made in heaven?
When the squad walks out onto this lush green pitch in the National Stadium, they will be bolstered by the voices of 12,000 members of the Tartan Army, watching a little piece of history unfold, and there might be some singing from them too.
Yes, sir, I can boogie.
The aim isn't just to beat the Czech Republic today, but to get through the group stages for the first time in Scotland's history. And the whole squad is singing from the same hymn sheet.
Come on, Scotland! Come on, Scotland! Come on, Scotland!
Jane Dougal, BBC News, Hampden.
What a day, what a day. Meanwhile, Denmark's team doctor has confirmed that Christian Eriksen had a heart attack during the match against Finland on Saturday night, and that, in his words, he was gone.
Yeah, the former Tottenham star was resuscitated and is now recovering in hospital. Nick Beek reports from Copenhagen.
The heartfelt messages were to get well soon. A show of strength for Christian Eriksen, who was awake, even asking about his teammates. Everyone here at this Euro 2020 fan zone knew it could have been so different.
Hearing that he's in good shape and he actually has some conversations with the team and so on is fantastic, and that's the only thing that matters to us.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, Christian's health.
Yeah, the football is secondary today.
100%.
That sense of relief has been shared by football fans the world over. That's because today we got confirmation, if it were needed, of just how serious the situation was. Earlier we asked Denmark's team doctor how close they were to losing Christian Eriksen.
Yeah, what should I say? He was gone, and we did cardiac resuscitation, and it was cardiac arrest. How close were we? I don't know. We got him back.
And the sight of Christian Eriksen, conscious as he left the pitch, gave hope to all. But his teammates are being offered psychological support, and the Denmark head coach says it was wrong to ask the players to resume the match. Eriksen is still being monitored at Denmark's leading heart unit, where doctors are yet to work out why he collapsed. A tournament, already delayed by the pandemic, goes on, with football and life put in perspective. Nick Beek, BBC News, Copenhagen.
Meanwhile, a football club in East Sussex has made an appeal after 2 people were caught on CCTV vandalising its life-saving heart defibrillator. The footage you can see here was posted 24 hours after Christian Eriksen's collapse. It's been viewed more than 700,000 times since then. Buxted FC said the incident, which occurred in the early hours yesterday, has put lives at risk.
I feel absolutely disgusted that people would do something like this to a bit of equipment that would save someone's life. Well, we all know how important defibrillators are. Proved yesterday to a professional player. You know, that saved his life yesterday. Now the club hasn't got one until we get a replacement, so lives are at risk because you never know what's going to happen.
The US President has been talking about his meeting with the Queen at Windsor Castle yesterday. Joe Biden and the First Lady enjoyed afternoon tea with the Queen after a greeting from a guard of honour. President Biden described the Queen as gracious.
See the headlines as they happen and watch BBC News live in the app and get the full story with bbc.co.uk/news. Follow the story for all the latest with BBC News.